Straw Hut Media.
Hello, everyone. We are just getting set up on our end, waiting for KK and Keener to join, and of course, Adina Verson, who, for those who did not watch, is a very extra special guest this week. But just a disclaimer for anyone who has not watched the season finale, please kindly come back after you watch, because we are definitely going to be talking about a lot of spoilers, and it's going to spoil the whole season. So we will talk very soon. And boys, there's so much to talk about. Thanks so much for joining.
This is such an exciting day to have a Reddit talk. I'm so glad everybody's here.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes.
So excited. I can't.
So much to discuss.
Oh my gosh. So much to discuss. I don't know if you all got a chance to see some of the amazing finale food that people posted.
No, like what?
Oh my
So,
God, kidding.
Yeah, a lot of Redditors, they had like dips for dinner.
Yeah.
Someone actually made the number 14 sandwich.
The marmalade and liverwurst,
Yeah.
they made the sandwich.
Did they like it?
They showed the components. So they didn't show it in
okay.
sandwich form. So they had liverwurst, they had the marmalade, and they had it with Triscuits. So they didn't have bread.
No, Triscuits. Yeah.
Keener did
Yeah,
say it sounds good.
Not the Triscuits. I saw a cake that was a sweat, like a hoodie. Did you see? That was amazing. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see the
Oh,
cake.
it was a cake with a hoodie with like red strawberry cherries inside, for the old blood. It was
The blood.
amazing. I was like,
The old
wow,
blood.
somebody, the old blood.
Sorry,
Somebody
Bunny.
did. It was pretty great. Yeah.
Did it have a knitting needle?
Oh yes, it had knitting needles. Exactly, it had knitting needles on top and some like yarn looking thing too. Exactly, 2 knitting needles and like red yarn kind of strolled off. Yeah, it was
That's
amazing.
hilarious.
Oh
You
my
gotta look
goodness,
it up.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Adina, are you here?
The murderess.
she's the murderer. Oh, I hope we're not giving anything away.
Oh yeah, we can do our
I'm joking.
disclaimer again. If people have not watched any
Too late.
season 2 of Only Murders in the Building or the season finale, I will
What is
ask
wrong
you
with you?
Hey, Kraken.
if you weren't waiting for 901 on the West Coast, as I was on Monday. Hi, Adina.
I did it.
Yeah,
did it.
you did.
Adina, you've done a lot of things.
Been keeping busy.
Yeah. Oh,
Keeping
Adina.
busy is so right.
Adina, thanks for coming on, Adina.
Of course.
Always have fun.
Can you? My 2-year-old is with me,
That's okay.
and I think she really wants to say hi.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Bring it.
Hello.
Do you want to, Zelda? Can you say hi? Can you say hello? Oh,
What's your name?
Hello.
This is Zelda.
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 Hi, Zelda.
Hi, Zelda. Oh my, what a fantastic name.
Right?
Yeah, Zelda.
I have one AirPod in, and she has the other AirPod in. And,
Oh my God, too
and
cute.
I
Hi,
don't know
Zelda.
if it actually fits in a 2-year-old's ear. There, can you hear that? Can you say hi?
Hi.
No, okay. There's no saying.
Hi, Zelda.
But it's entertaining enough, and she's loving looking
This
at
is
all of the little...
Keener, one of your favorite people ever. I will be.
Auntie Keener.
All right. Well, enough about my toddler. She'll be listening in. So
Does she have a
Okay.
no
question?
bad language. Yeah.
She has something to ask.
Adina, is she looking at you differently since Tuesday?
She is. She was pretty sure it was Marv.
Right.
So
Oh.
That onesie. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, the little mamas. Well, Adina, how have you been since the last time we spoke with you, and how hard was it to keep everything in the last time we spoke with you? Because that's my immediate thought. I was like, oh, she did such a good job of not giving anything away.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I've been keeping it a secret since like that's very nice. I've been keeping it a secret since like October.
Wow.
Year, so I guess it's pretty easy. But like I was amazed at how relieved I've been since Tuesday.
Oh,
Like,
yes. Wait, Adina, your dad. I wanted to know, what did he say?
oh yeah.
Don't try and fool us. We know you're the murderer, even if you're a cute, sweet mom. Even if you're a cute, sweet mom, we don't care anymore. We know you murder.
I just stole this kid off the street just to try and get
Put
you
a
on my
hoodie
side.
on her.
All the sympathy points. She's a mother and a
This is
murderer.
casting.
But yeah, I've been so relieved unexpectedly since Tuesday, since like the secret is out and I can just like breathe. I mean,
Yeah.
Sigh of relief.
yeah, I didn't realize like how much it was just like kind of affecting me as like an actor, just being like,
Yeah.
I'm living a lie, which, really helped with Becky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
My portrayal. I don't know if you could
Yeah.
see the layers that I wasn't even aware of.
You were
we
playing
saw
two
that.
characters.
We saw that.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. I will say, I think everyone is hoping that for season 3 we get some sort of like Jan connection where we still get to see you.
Silence of the
I
Lambs.
hope so.
Yeah.
I've
Not
got
the
some ideas.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so, because everyone really, really wants more Poppy, more Adina, and I think that's the heartbreak that comes with the reveal is, oh my gosh, but I still oddly love her.
It's a conflicting feeling about it, right?
Yeah, and I want to see more of her.
Thank you. I mean, that's good to hear because they did make her such a like an sympathetic or empathetic character, and it's weird to feel that way about a murderer. And I don't know how I felt about like portraying somebody who you feel for, even though they're a murderer. But like, yeah, I'm glad that everybody didn't just like turn on her.
Yeah. Well, Adina, have you heard of Silence of the Lambs? We loved him. We loved him.
Did
Oh God, I did. So
That explains a lot.
you're in the heart, Adina. You're in the heart. Yeah.
I love this comment from Hannah Lem. She says, I want a spin-off show of Jan and Poppy's adventures in prison.
Oh my gosh, I think it's called Orange is the New Black, but
Murder is the new black.
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, Adina, we did announce this talk, but we didn't put your name on it just in case
Great.
people, yes, we didn't want to say with to like spark anything, but we did get a few questions from the announcement post. The first comes from That Lucky Fox. They were wondering if you had any involvement in the 14th sandwich. Have you tried it? And do you know what was on the matchbook?
Ooh, I did not have any involvement with the 14th sandwich as far as like what Bunny was saying, and also as far as like what the actual sandwich is.
You just order it.
I just order it. I think, I said this before. I think it sounds kind of good. I'm a chopped liver fan. I also love a marmalade, so I'd be into it. Haven't tried it, but if somebody made it for me, I might try it.
You would try a bite.
Yeah.
Adina, I do think you're going to be getting liverwurst sandwiches your way for a while.
on the house.
Yeah. What kind of marmalade do you think would pair best with a liverwurst? What would your preferred marmalade be?
Oh, you know what? I just assumed it was like the like classic like orange marmalade with like the isn't what makes
Yes,
the
that's what I
marmalade
thought. I thought
Yeah.
it has
Like a Smucker's
Although-
orange marmalade.
Yeah, it's like more peel.
Yeah.
Right?
There's
Yeah.
but there's also sort of like maybe a little more. Oh, I don't know. We can start talking about marmalade.
I know.
I'm gonna send you jars.
But yeah, so I didn't have any involvement with that, but I didn't have any qualms with it. And then what was the other question?
Do you know what was on the matchbook?
I never discussed it with anybody. We see it was me in the diner with Bunny, so I assume. So then I'm the one that takes the matchbook. It seems really sloppy, but she was like running out unexpectedly because Mabel came back to take back to her apartment. So I think it was blood. I think it was my bloody fingerprint, and there's
It was
nobody
a
ever
bloody
checked it.
Yeah. The internet sleuths definitely had other theories, right? Of
Paint.
course, they're like, it could be, yep, exactly, paint or makeup, but that was also trying to attach it with some of their other theories of who the murderer was. So blood definitely makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think that Poppy's just really lucky that nobody tested it, and that then like Preps, got it for her.
Yeah, Poppy was lucky that she was the smartest person in the room, basically. That's what happened. And nobody else could figure anything else
And
out.
is that luck, or is that
skill?
Is that skill? Yeah.
Or I think it was also a little bit of love, right?
Oh, that's
Right.
true.
With Preps.
Yeah, with Preps.
She had crepes around her finger.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to like read too much into it, but I don't know
Yeah.
if she's in love with Krebs
Or
maybe
used
just
him.
using Krebs. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do you think he's in love with her?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely in love with her.
Yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
She has him wrapped around her finger.
Yeah.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but
Yes.
Oh, you get to toot. You get to toot so much.
As long as it's a horn and not a knitting needle. Or
Yes.
but yeah, I'm curious. I mean, when we were shooting when I'm being arrested and they like walk me out past Krebs, who's also in handcuffs, I like had no, in character, I was like, I don't even want to look at him.
Yeah.
I was like, this is over, dude.
Yeah.
Don't write, don't call.
Exactly. I don't want to hear. Well, actually, you guys are going to both be in prison. I was going to say on the other side of the glass.
We have a collect call from.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah. Click. We're going to send money.
Exactly.
Adina, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Once the episode aired, who was the first person you heard from, that you've been keeping the secret from?
That's a good question. It might have been.
Did your phone start blowing up?
I was like having trouble sleeping the evenings like leading up to it coming out. Wait, Zelda, hang on one sec. Sorry, I'm getting cute cat video compilation.
Oh my gosh! Never apologize.
Yeah.
Zelda is a very welcome participant in all of this.
And that's what I do for KK. I just put him in front of a cat compilation, and he's good.
He's busy for hours.
This is the first time that I'm like being like sit in front of this and watch this. So yes, I turned my phone off. I was like, I'm going to be very conscious of turning my phone on in the morning. Mm-hmm. I think the first person I actually heard from was Michael Cyril Creighton, who plays Howard, who is my dear friend, and he has been keeping the secret from his husband this whole time. And they stayed up late to watch it, and he kept misdirecting his husband because he kept being like, "Is it Poppy?" And so I think that he was the first text that I got, I think. But then I think I also got a text emoji from my mom that was like her memoji with like the exploding head.
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah. And I've been getting a lot of texts from like my family members being like, "I'm so proud of you," and I'm like,
Well, the murderer is basically the star, really. Besides the other star, they're the one. You're the one. You shine.
You get bragging rights.
Yeah,
it's true.
But also, I think that means that if you had bail, you would make it because your family would totally crowdfund that.
Oh,
that's true. That's true. But you know what? Do they do bail on murder cases?
I don't know.
I don't even think you need bail anymore.
You get a number 14 sandwich with a file in it for sure.
Yes.
Poppy can figure it out from there, I'm sure.
Yeah,
totally. Is it a monkey?
Oh.
What do you think Poppy will be like in prison?
I feel like she could go a few different ways. I feel like she could start to feel terrible about what she has done, and like the realization like really sets into reality, and she becomes like a monk. Or I think she could like go like full Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And like and just like, I don't know, get a neck tattoo.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm smarter than all of you, and I'm going to figure something out, and you're all going to work for me. That's
Right.
I feel like she'd be running things after a little.
But in her calm, cool way, you know?
Yeah. I see a neck tattoo of a podcasting microphone.
Right. Maybe get like a tear. Don't you get like a tear if you?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got a whole waterfall.
Yeah.
It's like, why does Poppy have 3 tears?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So confused.
Maybe the phone number to donate to NPR. I don't know.
Right.
Just like some ideas.
A tote bag.
And in the meantime, Krebs has a big. Yeah, oh, you're right. Krebs has a big tattoo of you on his back.
Yeah.
He's like, I love her.
Or it's like a Poppy tattoo that accidentally says like poopy or something.
Yeah.
Like it's really embarrassing.
Spelled it wrong. Totally.
Or Poppy in like Chinese characters. I don't know. Just something.
Something that does not make sense.
I do want to say for the audience, if anyone does have a question or many questions for Adina, because I know we have a lot of them. I have a ton in the comments, but before we get into those, do want to remind you that we are accepting live questions. So if you would like to come up, hit that hand icon to raise your hand, and we will bring you up to ask Adina, KK, and Keener a question. In the meantime, we did have a question from Icy Red Rose. And her flair is hips before dips, which I think is hilarious. Icy Red Rose says, hello, thanks for coming back, Adina. When did you first find out Poppy was Becky, and how did that impact how you played Poppy, or did it at all?
I found out the same Zoom conversation that John Hoffman and Jess Rosenthal had with me, where they told me that I was going to be the murderer. They also at that point knew that I was going to be Becky Butler. And this was like a month before we started shooting. And that was almost more exciting to me than like being the murderer. Yeah, I don't know. I like for a while was like, how do I layer this in? I didn't have all the details, so it was like hard to kind of like do the normal like actor work because I didn't know all the details. Like I didn't quite know what the Rose Cooper part was, and I didn't know my backstory as Becky. And it did change like while they were writing it, while we were still filming the earlier episodes, like the later episodes were still changing. And I ultimately decided that like Poppy is a very good liar, and so I didn't really need to layer in Becky. Sometimes it helped me to be like, what's my...
Mommy, look at that.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Sorry, it's a praying mantis with like beautiful wings. I never knew they had wings. But yeah, so I felt like I didn't need to do so much work because the writing was so good at kind of like layering things in. It was just a little too much. I didn't want to like be pointing at anything. Does that make sense?
Yes, it totally makes sense. I apologize because I can't credit the person that wrote this comment, but there was a comment on Reddit that said the butler is always the one who did it.
I read that too, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is brilliant.
Yes.
Butler.
Wow.
Becky Butler. So was that a hint? Do you by any chance know, Adina?
I don't know. It didn't occur to me until I read that on Reddit. And I was like, that's like my favorite thing.
Wow. The writers are going to take credit for that.
I know, right?
I wish I could give the commenter
Wow,
credit because it was such a spot on and simple observation.
And anything to like compare me in any regard to Tim Curry, I will take it.
Right?
Oh my gosh, I love it. This is a fun one from Bay Bumblebees. They write, I'm an assistant and related so much to your character, Adina. My question is, did you work a job like that before you became an actor?
Thank goodness it does have yellow eyes. I did not. I was one of those actors who, I feel like when you're like an actor starting out in New York and you have a day job, you either like do temp work in an office, or you do babysitting, or you do serving in restaurants. And I did restaurants. So I never had like that office experience or like that kind of like weird office hierarchy experience. I did have like creepy bosses in restaurants. one of the first restaurants I worked in, like I was a hostess, and I like wore a short skirt one day, and the manager was like, I'll give you better shifts if you keep wearing skirts like this.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
God.
did I wear
Yeah.
the shorter skirts? I did.
Gosh.
Oh, Adina, I worked at a place called Hooters. Let me tell you something. Those guys were horrible.
At Hooters?
I can relate. Oh yeah, all the managers horrible.
Were you a good waitress, Adina?
It was. I think I was. I took my time, which like so for the clients, the people I was serving, I think it was great. But maybe some of the other servers didn't appreciate that I was so chatty. But I got good tips.
Yeah, exactly. Where are they now? Who cares?
You probably had some demanding patrons at the restaurant.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
There's always
The Cindas at the restaurant.
yeah, the Cindas. Yeah. Listen, guys, I'm so sorry. I have to jump off, but I just want to tell everyone at Reddit and Adina and KK and my team, I love you guys. What a great season. And thank you for everything. And we had a great time, and I'm going to see you and talk to you next season. But Adina, thank you for doing this again. And thank you, Reddit.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank
It's
you.
been such a pleasure. It's so bittersweet to be here right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
now we know and we have so much to talk about, but it's also, we're not going to have one next week.
I
It's become
know.
such a part of, yeah. We look forward to it. So
Thank you.
we can't wait to see you for season 3. Thank you so much for being so wonderful and making this so fun and
Thank you.
giving the community extra things to think about and contemplate
Absolutely.
in between episodes.
Absolutely. And we'll throw some more stuff out while we're waiting for season 3. So thank you all. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Keener.
you. Bye,
Bye,
Keener.
guys. Bye.
Okay, Adina, a fun question from O Punky. What did you think the funniest moment of the season was?
Ooh, that's hard.
That's actually a very tough question.
What's the first thing that pops in your head?
The first thing that pops into my head is actually Shirley MacLaine. I thought everything she did was hilarious. But the one line that I laughed for like a very long time was when she's meeting Charles, and she's like, "What do I know you from?" And he's saying that she's like, "Oh, are you on that? You're that guy." And she's like, say the thing. And he says, like, this takes the investigation into a whole new direction. And she goes, that's really bad. Yeah, that made me laugh
It's so, oh my God. She delivered that line brilliantly. I remember. Yes.
She's incredible. I didn't get to meet her, which I'm real bummed about. And you know what? The other line that I loved was in the finale when Lester is like telling about his like time at Juilliard, and that then he's like how he became a doorman afterwards. I mean, I think that whole speech is hilarious. And then,
Yes.
and then when Oliver is like, "Well, that was a bummer."
Yeah. I loved Oliver's realization that Lester could act, like just the subtle facial, movements.
Yes,
that Martin Short had. You're like, he's like discovering a star.
totally. Which I feel like he's got to be in.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
I
Season
hope he's
3.
in it.
yeah, in the season 3 play within a play.
Yes,
Yeah.
the play within a play.
Within a
Just like-
podcast.
Yes, within a podcast. There is a question here that I'm not sure if you could, you can answer, but I think we can imagine it at least.
Okay.
And it comes from Ardent Hellion, and they want to know what happened at the lunch with Bunny and Poppy. I don't mean the sandwich, but how did the conversation go? For instance, how many times did Bunny tell Poppy to go F herself?
What I think is that I was like calling her and like waiting for her in the Arconia lobby and like bugging her about this Rose Cooper painting because I was trying to do research about Rose Cooper. I was fascinated with her because she had been disappeared and mysteriously, and I felt a kinship to her. And I think I kept bothering her about the painting. She probably for long enough, I suspect, for Bunny to have gotten a replica made. And so I think that maybe finally she was like, "What is that kitty doing?" maybe I knew that she went to this diner a lot. And maybe I was like waiting outside for her one day and she was like, fine, come in. I'll talk with you. And so I think I like sat down with her and probably started bugging her about the painting again, trying to get details. And she did not like me. I ordered this sandwich that sounded really delicious, which immediately she has zero respect for me. She doesn't know my name. From now on, she will only know me as 14 Sandwich. And I think she's like, leave me alone, never contact me again. And she storms out. That's what I think happened.
I love it. Thank you for filling in those gaps, because I know that there's a lot of questions about those conversations and little interactions that led up to the knitting needle and the knife.
And just hearing that answer, I wouldn't put it past Poppy to kind of like trail Bunny for the day and see that she's a creature of habit and that she has lunch at the Pickle Diner every day, and that was her opening.
Yeah, totally. And I also feel like that might be part of how I figured out the passageways is by like, if I was tracking her, I could see that she was not going in and out through the front door.
Taking the secret elevator.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And then who knows? I feel like Poppy's, I wouldn't put it past her to go to the library and know how to deal with microfiche. Look at
the blueprints.
Yeah.
These schematics don't match what's there now. There's a tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is a fun question from Hannah Lemp, and you can both answer. Do you guys have any unusual fears, like Cinda's fear of tomato insides in slow motion?
I have a deep fear. This is not a weird, I don't think it's a weird fear. I have a deep fear of sharks. Like so much so that like I grew up in the Midwest in like a landlocked area, and I was in therapy as like a young child because I couldn't sleep because I would like wake up screaming about sharks. I think I was killed by a shark in a past life, but like it is so like deeply ingrained that it seems absurd in the way that my body reacts to it. I don't think that's like crazy. Sharks are scary.
Yeah, I think universally feared.
They will eat you.
Right. But like I don't live, in Australia, and I'm not like a sailor. I'm not looking to take a ship around the bottom of South Africa.
Yeah. Yes.
Would you swim in the ocean today?
I swim in the ocean now and then.
Okay, so you've come a long ways.
Yeah,
that's a huge step.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm like definitely looking for sharks if I go in the ocean. If I go up to my ankles.
Small sharks.
Yeah.
KK, do you have an unusual fear?
For me, unusual fear. I think when I was younger, I wouldn't call it a fear, but I didn't like clowns, which I think is a pretty common thing. But no, nothing unusual. I'm not crazy about heights.
Yeah, these are both very, I think, valid and shared fears. By
You can fall
society.
off the building or get eaten by a shark. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's so creepy.
Another somewhat difficult question for you, Adina, from Who Adi. Who is your favorite person to work with? And who are you most excited to work with?
Oh, gosh.
I know, that's a hard one.
Embarrassment of riches.
I know, it is an embarrassment of riches.
I mean, like every single person.
Literally.
I was so excited to be able to work so closely with Tina Fey, and she's like such a lovely person, and to like the fact that she like made me feel like her equal was like crazy. Yeah, just to feel like safe and like not paralyzed while being in a scene with her, it was cool. And then if I did feel a little paralyzed, I could use it.
There you go.
I was also just like super excited to work with Michael Cyril Creighton, who plays Howard. He's a dear friend. We've never gotten to work together before, and we were so excited to both be in the killer reveal party. And when I sneeze, he says, "Bless you." And I was like, we were like, we have a line, we have like an interaction.
Oh, that's amazing. Lots of people, huge fans of his fainting. Huge fans.
I mean, what is anything better?
Only one was real.
Yeah. And we were all like, which one?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think he's lying. I think he's still trying to upstage Lester.
Exactly.
Safe face.
What's that?
Pangolin 36 is on. Do you have a question? If so, feel free to unmute, Pangolin.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. Adina, thanks for being here with all of us. My
yeah, of
question
course.
would be, what was your favorite part about playing, like, the bad guy? You know, like, the Bunny's murderer, like, the murderer character that all of us just have come to love so much. Like, how did you, like, play into that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that when I was, I really love playing like extreme characters. And so I think when I first was thinking like murderer, I was like, she's crazy and I get to be crazy. But then I was like, it's not a good idea to have the murderer in season 1 be like a crazy woman and then the murderer in season 2 be a crazy woman. That seems like a bad social message to send. And so I think that's why I was initially excited. But then once I was like, Poppy's not crazy, I was excited to kind of show her humanity, which like did feel conflicted, but to be like, everybody who does something terrible is doing it because they have some sort of a wound somewhere, and to kind of be able to play Becky. And like that, to me, that was like one of my favorite parts was when I got like the little montage of the Becky scenes and like shooting them, and I just feel like I learned so much about her, and it just hurt my heart to think of just like this little sweet Becky Butler.
She had a tough life.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that they wrote it originally that it was like a little tougher, and so I kind of like that they like made it seem like not a great life, but not like, you know, she wasn't. It could have been a lot worse.
Could have been worse.
Yeah. So it was interesting in the edit to see like, oh, like they actually didn't make it that terrible, but it's just, she's just unhappy. She's just an unhappy person without joy in her life.
I think it also makes her super relatable. I think like a lot of people felt, you know, different, varying degrees of that, you know, of like being in a bad situation and like seeing her take matters into her own hands, albeit very extreme.
Right.
Not recommended.
Not recommended. But definitely like the writers, the acting, you all do such an amazing job of finding those touch points and making it relatable, even though, once again, albeit it extreme.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think I had said this before, but it like really struck me in the episode 3 when it's like the last day of Bunny Folger, and at the end they're like, we didn't kill her, but we could have saved her with an act of kindness. And I really feel like the same goes for Poppy, that like she could have been saved with an act of kindness from Cinda or her family or the mayor or whoever. Like it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah. Thank you for such a wonderful answer.
Yeah.
And thank you, Pangolin 36.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to season 3.
Me too. Thank you.
All right, we have Retro Revolve on stage if you'd like to ask your question.
Hello, I figured it out. So good to be here and talk with you guys. My question is for Poppy's actress. Sorry, I'm not good with actor names. When you first started on, did you foresee your character going down the path as the murderer?
First of all, no worries about my name. I'm really bad with names too. When I started like in season 1, I had no idea. Absolutely not. I was like, I have one scene with these amazing people. My life has changed. And then and then I got like another scene that I was like, does this mean I'm in season 2? And then when I found out before we started shooting, it actually, can you repeat your question?
No, you pretty much answered it.
Okay.
Just wanted to see like if you ever foresaw your character going down as like, oh, I'm gonna like. It just seems like such a twist that I didn't really see from season 1. I think a lot of people talked about that on the forums of like, oh wow, they really tied back to the Cinda's podcast, All's Not Okay in Oklahoma, and I never saw Becky Butler, the person who went missing, as being the murderer. So wanted to know what you foresaw your character doing, or if you ever foresaw your character becoming the bad guy. Also,
Yeah,
love
no.
that you're with your daughter. Power to the moms. I'm here with my
Thank you.
son as well.
Thank you.
Mine just woke up from a nap. Power.
Hey,
Solidarity.
yeah.
I see all of you. Yeah, I think I wouldn't have ever suspected it, and it was funny because I did have like kind of like a Brooklyn NYU grad like backstory for Poppy from season 1 that I was just like, who is this person?
Totally.
And then it was fun to like be like, oh, that story I made up is actually the story that Becky made up.
Oh, right.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Retro Evolve. Do you have any more questions?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Great.
you.
Thank you. Adina, I do want to do a time check just to make sure, because we do have so many questions in the comments, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get through all of
I
them.
have about 5 minutes before I need to hop off.
Okay. Okay.
And I should probably get my kiddo in the bath soon.
Yes.
But maybe a couple more questions?
You got it. It's why we wanted to do the time check, and we just
Thank
so
you.
appreciate you all just being here at all. We just,
Of course.
oh my gosh. This question comes from Acceptable Pizza. It's once again a little bit more of, what's the word? Imaginative question. But they ask, Adina, why do you think Poppy revealed her identity to Mabel?
Oh, I think that originally, I was, with the whole Bunny murder, the plan was to set it up to frame the trio. And then I think as soon as I asked for a promotion and she was so incredibly rude about it, I saw the opportunity that I could frame Cinda, not only for All Is Not Okay being a fraud, but also I could frame her for the murder of Bunny. And so I think in a very clever way, Becky decided to reveal herself to Mabel to seem like a victim, because if Cinda had known that I was Becky, then I think that she, that would be a huge, that would be her downfall.
Becky's back.
Daddy's back. And so I think that it was just like a turn. Yeah, Daddy went to the doctor. Daddy went to the chiropractor. Not that anybody needs to know that, but that's where he was.
No, we love these details. We live for these details. You're in the perfect forum for that.
But yeah, so I think that her desire changed as to what her master plan was, and so I think it was really clever of her to do that, because I think that it could, if they hadn't discovered the 14 sandwich, I think it would have worked. I think that Cinda would have been framed for Bunny's murder and for falsifying All Is Not Okay.
A twofer.
Yeah.
And also another reason why I think that she doesn't actually care about Krebs is because Krebs would have totally been thrown under the bus.
Mm-hmm. So true. Right. So true.
Planting the evidence. Taking the evidence.
Yeah. I love it.
So many layers.
So many layers. Oh my gosh. I love that this person, okay, Substantial Bank 5559, whose flair is dramatic yodel shop, which Reddit discovered if you turn on the captions while watching during the end credits, during that amazing rendition of the theme song through yodeling, it just says dramatic yodel shop as the caption. So that is this person's flair. And the question is, did you shoot any memorable scenes that in the editing process got cut?
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, yes. In episode 6, the one that Poppy narrates, there was in the scene when you need to go peeps on the potty? Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh, good job, Zelda. That is major.
She's making it happen.
Yeah. Play this at her wedding, by the way, Adina.
Yeah.
So at the scene when I'm like, hey, did you get to think about that promotion? And she's like, you made everybody feel awkward. Never be too good at a job you don't want. There was more to that scene. So so after Cinda left, and then Poppy walked over to Cinda's desk and chose to sit down in her desk and use the microphone and continue her podcast. that she had started earlier, and but it was like, I don't even remember what the text was, but it was something similar to like to how it starts in the beginning, where it's like, how do you lie to yourself or whatever, and then Poppy like broke down and like did like a desk swipe, like a dramatic desk swipe, and a break, and she started crying. And so then next time you see her, when she's calling Mabel, then you see that like she also, like, the pencils are broken and the microphone is knocked over. But they cut the second half of that scene, I think, for the best, because I think it would have pushed Poppy over the edge to being like a little too angry or volatile.
Her tell
is vital.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people, of course, going back to watch to see if there were any tells, and a lot of people are bringing up the broken pencils.
Yeah.
And they're like, that was a red flag, everybody.
Totally. There was one take that of the me calling Mabel, where there was like this flower arrangement that I didn't realize was like real flowers. I just assumed because it's a set that they were like fake flowers, but it was this beautiful real flower arrangement. And I just like, while pacing, talking to her, I like pulled one of the flowers out, and then right on like a punctuation of a line, I like popped the head of the flower off, and it like flew up and then landed on the desk. And I was like, I could not have done that like on purpose. And they didn't use the take, probably because it looked so perfect.
Yeah.
Too perfect.
Yeah.
It would have been a dead giveaway.
Totally.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much again, Adina, for coming here and multitasking and being such a super mom.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. It's such goals. And KK, Straw Hat, thank you so much for delighting us every week with guests, and also with the Whodunit Summit and your podcast.
Thank you so much. And also, you guys can listen to this week's episode with Adina and also with John Hoffman, the showrunner, co-creator, and also the co-writer of the season finale, as well as Mateo and Rob, who co-wrote the season finale with John. And we'll have some bonus content, including us. We went to the pop-up over the weekend in New York. So there's a bunch of really great content coming up in the break as we wait for season 3. So, and also this week's episode is really, really good. So
it's very good.
I recommend checking it out. You can hear more from Adina there.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so very much. I mean, KK, Adina, are there any final words until season 3 that you want to say?
I am just as excited to find out what the heck is going on as you all. I have no clues yet, but I will be texting people who I know are in the writer's room and being like, hey, how's it going?
Something to run by you.
Yeah.
Will it be a collect call? No, I'm kidding.
No, next year it's going to be exciting. I'm curious if, so it's only Murders in the Building, and this murder seemed to happen in a theater.
Yes.
So that's something to think about.
Very much so. Very much so. Oh, well, thank you all so much again. Have a lovely rest of your day. Have a lovely rest of the weeks leading up to season 3 until we meet again.
Thank you so much.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
here
Thanks, guys.
waiting. Thanks everyone for joining for all these weeks and for all of your wonderful questions and your sleuthing.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yay. Thanks so much. Until next time, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.